Oh man, I got a lesson to talk about.
Okay. That's good, because I don't. I was watching it.
Pull up a chair. Yeah, I really don't know what to say.
I was like, yeah.
Come on, sit down.
I'm excited.
Sit down. Let's talk. Let's talk about it.
Let's
get into it. What is it?
Yeah, what was the movie? I didn't watch it.
It's your pick, you dummy.
No, fuck.
Making sure that I got the right title for my pick. Alright, cool.
Must be a real good one.
Yeah. The Dark Knight.
Oh.
Let me sure I got the title right for that.
The Jorker. Jorker's Revenge.
In my notes, I wrote Jiro be dreaming.
Whoa.
T-Dub be playing.
Where is T-Dub today? What's your question?
What console of yours that you've owned do you have your favorite catalog of games?
Ooh.
Like,
that's really tough.
We were talking about it on the way here, me and Art.
Wait, I didn't get the memo.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I got another white T-shirt.
Do you want it?
You know, we're gonna change the name of the podcast to the Plain White Tee. Hey there, James Woods. That's our new hit.
Yeah.
I want to make a joke about T-Series, but I don't know what it is.
It's just...
It's not a Resident Evil thing?
No.
That's the... Is it the T-virus?
I think it
thought
is.
It was the G-virus. I can't remember.
No.
But I'm super stoked.
You got the G-virus. You know what I'm saying?
Since I was born. Believe it.
Alright, what console do I think I have my favorite catalog? I'd hesitate not to say the PS3 because I have a lot of those games on the PS4, like L.A. Noire and Dark Souls.
Gotcha.
So, and then like Red Dead 1 is on there. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
All
of Metal Gear.
And you know, that
BioShock 1. Like, those are some real
mine is
zingers.
PS2.
Yeah.
For me, because there was all my favorite like niche Japanese games I like to play, published by Atlas and Nipponichi, and then there was also Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, which are my favorite, and like games like Onimusha, which I love to play, and so for me, for sure, the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
PS2 had some great games, but you know why I don't like the PS2 is because mine broke so many times. And it would not read specifically. There were PS2 discs that had purple background or
I remember
undersides.
those.
Oh yeah. My PS2 would never read those.
Didn't read them? Yeah.
Just those. And like to get it to work, you'd have to like smack the top of it, and sometimes it would work. It was just so finicky and fragile. That's why I don't really hold the PS2 in high regard, even though the catalog is really good.
Amazing. Like, I definitely went through more than one, but they sold so well that you know they're really cheap to get.
Yeah,
man, and all the fighting games too on PlayStation 2 that I love.
Tekken Tag.
Tekken Tag. Actually, that was like the first PlayStation iteration in the Tekken series.
Oh wow!
I mean, PlayStation 2 iteration was Tekken Tag, and then but I really liked Tekken 5 that came out. Me and my friends played the shit out of that.
Yeah, and like I mean, I guess for that same reason, for me, it'd be the Dreamcast, because like I had a shitload of like fighting games.
Power Stone.
So, yeah, well, I mean, not even just Power Stone, but like 2D
Sonic
Shuffle.
Games.
I did own Sonic Shuffle. It's a
game.
Tremendously bad game.
I want to take you for a ride.
Okay, and that's what I mean. Like especially 2D
Marvel versus Capcom.
Hey, whoa. So I had the first and the second one. I had Capcom versus SNK. I had
the Millennium Fight.
Yeah,
that's what that was called.
Both of them. The second one was in Japanese because I got a bootleg from a flea market.
Yeah.
I had a game called I had Hydro Thunder for it, and that was a good ass game.
Yeah, that was on Xbox original also.
Yeah,
Crazy Taxi.
I had Crazy Taxi. We had this awful game called Four Wheel Thunder. It was like just monster trucks that were jet powered, but it wasn't very good. We had a Buzz Lightyear game that came with a console.
Did you have Sonic Adventure Battle Dose?
I had just straight up Sonic Adventure, because the battle one was the one for GameCube.
That's not
I had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. But yeah, speaking of dreams.
Oh, nice.
And this is a cast.
There it is. Whoa. The Millennium Dreamcast.
The Millennium
Jeez,
Dreamcast.
That's out there, man.
Jiro himself.
So...
What do you make of young Jiro? He's like, what is he, 85?
Yeah, 85
He's
years
still
old.
kicking, right?
At the start of the movie, he's in his early 90s now.
Yeah.
And I've been on the Wikipedia once or twice. I'm pretty sure
When
he's
did the
still
movie come out?
It came out 2011 or
11.
2011.
Oh, I thought it was more recent than that.
No.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Actually, let me just look up his age right now.
Yeah, I think he's 85 in the movie, so he would be what?
92.
92, 93?
Yep.
Yeah, 93 years old. He's born 1925.
So when they showed him in the Japanese World War II uniform, they just breezed over it. But I wondered, I didn't do the math because I'm lazy, like how young he would be, like
25?
what,
You'd have been like, what, 19? No.
during
I mean, like,
during
what year,
different
though?
phases, like
Oh, yeah.
so my
And I wonder how old they accepted.
right. So my maternal grandfather was in World War II, but he didn't see any action because he was at the very tail end.
Gotcha.
But he still lost his leg on a tugboat in Pearl Harbor, so it's like bad luck.
Yeah.
All the way around. But so yeah, I'm always thinking about that. Like my wife's grandfather, he's still living. He was a Salvadorian immigrant, and they had this sweet deal to get American citizenship, and he also ended up enlisting at the tail end of World War II, and actually served out like his time like peacekeeping.
That's nice.
In Austria and stuff.
And he got citizenship for that? Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so how hard was his life? And it's like when you see like his former student, who you could tell is a master in his own right now, and he owns his own restaurant. He's was under him for like 30 years or something, he said. And he was talking about how difficult his son's journey is going to be for him.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking about was scale, right? Like, you see how tough these guys are.
Yeah.
And how hard they work. And this guy is an OG who spent 30 years under Jiro. If he says something's going to be difficult,
Yeah.
that is not something to be taken lightly.
Yeah.
Like, I can only imagine. But
Remember, he has two sons also.
Yeah.
One of them, what did he do? He started his own restaurant. Like,
The younger,
he gave him
the younger one
gentle
has,
shove out the door.
Yeah, the younger one has his own branch of the same restaurant because it's the restaurant of the same name. I think it was like the something Heights or the Roppongi Hills.
Yeah,
Roppongi Hills location of that restaurant.
Yeah.
But and then the brother who's 50,
he's going to inherit
yeah.
the main shop of his father.
Yeah.
how would you feel about that? Like, if you're 50 years old and you're still like under your father's wing, living in his shadow.
I
don't know that.
I have a lot of
That's
permutations of it.
It's almost kind of morbid because
Right.
it's like he's living his dad's life. again,
It is
almost.
crazy, but like stuff like that can happen. Like, I can relate on a smaller level to that son. My dad is a really hardworking dude, and the son of immigrants, and like he got a scholarship to junior college, then got a scholarship to UT from junior college, then got a scholarship from UT to law school at U of H, right? He was one of the first Hispanic shareholders of his generation in San Antonio. And it's like, and I just think about myself, and it's like, like your parents can cap out, it's like the dream is always like to build progress, which is the typical thing.
Yeah, to inch a little bit further than
but it's like sometimes it's just like nah. But at the same time, I don't know. Yeah, I think it would be pretty difficult if I went into law. After like comparing myself to at least I can say, well, like my dad's a square man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I gotta do me. Yeah. So I'm on this other path. Yeah. But if I was directly in law, that'd be pretty tough, I imagine.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like I think what makes it super difficult for the son in particular is that his dad's still working. It's not like Jiro had some success and then in his 70s
scaled down.
He scaled down and then passed the restaurant on to his 30-year-old son or something like that.
Right.
He became a master in his later years and then became a legend.
Right.
Still to today.
Legend.
Yeah.
Right. He became a national treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why like whenever I think about him, I kind of think about also what's like James McCartney and Paul McCartney, right? Because James McCartney he's a musician as well.
Rocket,
man. Like how do you even
Is that Paul McCartney's son?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like what do you do?
I think
like,
that's even tougher though because as a musician you have a public persona and you will never live up to Paul McCartney.
Oh.
You will always be introduced as Paul McCartney's son. James McCartney, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty tough.
Like, you will always be compared, like, food-wise, I feel like that's a little, well, like, a lot different.
Right, well, and it's also, food is something, even though I can see maybe a more artistic person disagreeing, but especially if you do it every day, it's hard to say that it cannot be replicated.
Exactly. That's
when
exactly.
compared to a voice and an artistic point of view.
Because James McCartney could do Beatles songs or Paul McCartney and Wings songs, but it'd just be a tribute.
It wouldn't be the same. Well, but then I think about the way that what is the interviewers? Oh no, the protege or the guy that has his own restaurant even said, for him to be as good as Jiro, he has to be twice as good.
Yeah.
To have that effect, and that's why I think
because he has to surpass expectations.
Yeah. And that
it has to be
without
doubt. It's like when you have a fight, right?
Yeah.
And if the challenger, unless there's some like politics behind it, which sometimes there are with promoters, but the challenger almost always has to clearly win in order to get the decision if it goes to a decision. Because if you more or less tie or you inch them out,
then you're not the best.
You have to leave no question of a doubt.
Yeah.
You think when his father finally does pass, he's just gonna go like, all right, shut it down.
He's just gonna
find somewhere else to eat.
He's gonna drive his fucking hatchback RS3 600 miles.
Right. He wanted to be I'm a speed demon.
Yes.
My car goes 300 miles per hour.
I did think that part was kind of cool. They're like, you like going fast? He's like, yeah. And then he's like outside. He's just like, look at my car. This thing can hit 300 kilometers per hour.
And here's the thing, though, like, they work so long hours and everything continuously, and it's like you can't even shirk. Like, there's no.
What else can you enjoy?
There's no break, right? And so it's if anything, he can only enjoy his ride back to his house before he goes to sleep.
He probably has a badass bed.
Oh, I didn't even think about
that. And a cool ass car.
Yeah,
those are the things he interacts with.
Well, a nice Japanese soaking tub.
When he bought it, the salesman was like, you spend half of your life in your car.
Yeah. Damn.
Oof.
But
does he? Well,
he rides a bike too.
I was gonna say
he goes to the fish market.
It's in Tokyo, right?
Wow, I should have looked this up.
I think it's a suburb of Tokyo. Because the Tokyo Metropolitan's huge.
Well,
like, if you watch anything in Japan, it's likely...
This guy owns a car, which is...
part of... No, well...
But isn't the restaurant in the subway station?
Yeah. Yes. And, well, I was... In Japan, subways are everywhere.
Yeah.
And, like...
Okay, yeah, we should note, you're the only one who's been to Japan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so...
Well, really, in most of the world, subways are everywhere.
Right, and even I was in small and middle-sized cities, and they do run through those too. And also, my perspective is, so the further you get out, so if you get towards your middle-sized cities, which can no longer become suburbs, the proportion of people who have cars starts getting really higher, and then it starts dwindling down to if... It's kind of like a New York thing. So a New Yorker who's making $200,000 a year probably does have a car.
Yeah,
but the New Yorker who makes $50,000 a year does not.
Yeah,
and that was my perspective.
The New Yorker that makes $50,000 a year isn't doing so
does not live in New York. I hope.
But yeah, I mean, so like I met the family I stayed with. Like, of course they had a car, and they also used public transport. But like the daughter who lived in downtown Osaka, she didn't have a car at all.
Yeah.
But she was also a new nurse, like so.
Okay.
But
How long were you in Japan?
I've gone on 2 trips. Each trip was 2 weeks.
Okay.
Cool.
So
a month total. Very nice.
Nice.
Have you ever driven there?
did I drive while I was there? I did. I drove a little bit.
Okay.
The son of the family I was staying with, the oldest son, he was like in his early 20s, and he was like a kind of like an ex-delinquent.
Hell yeah.
And he had like a tricked out minivan.
Ooh.
And it was like super slammed.
Nice.
And like
slammed whips.
JP only, right?
Oh.
And so it had like these awesome aftermarket like
nice.
ashtrays.
Did he name? Wait, what? Did he name it?
Did he name it? No, I don't think he named it.
Ashtrays.
Well, he might have, but I remember being drunk with like his friend in the back who had like this crazy perm, and we just kept on quoting Bruce Lee. Don't think, feel, because they kept asking me if I could feel the sound system or whatever.
Oh.
I was like, I feel it. Don't think, feel, and so I got to drive his little minivan up and down the road. So that was fun. But no, I love Japan, dude. And this movie makes me think about... So my first trip was infatuation, right? And I think a lot of people, when they do their trips abroad, their experience kind of ends with that, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I made my first trip to Germany this year, and so did Chris. And I don't know about you, but, like, definitely that first trip, you're just, like... You just think about everything that's cool.
Well, I was there for long enough to where I settled in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, because you were there...
I was there a month.
A month, right. Mm-hmm. And I was there like 10 days. And so, but like I was watching my wife and she was just like, you know, like enjoying public transit and all this other stuff. She's just like, oh man, America sucks. That's what she said. I was like, try harder not to sound like a typical fucking American.
One of my favorite things was we were talking about the differences between East and West Berlin, and the residential advisor that I had was like, so... You might be able to tell on the east side the public transit is way better, because what's a better sign of socialism than good public transit?
Yeah, but I've seen like interviews with like German musicians whose bands formed on the other side, and they talk about like the distinct kind of like cultural differences in perspective, you know, that they got. But what I was saying about the Japan thing and what this movie reminded me, yeah. So the first thing is like awesome, right? So like, and that could be your relationship with watching this movie, because you watch it and you can think about and fetishize the Japanese passion, love for detail, craftsmanship, which I absolutely adore. Yeah, you know, and there's a lot of good. But in my second trip. And I maintained like email pen pal correspondence with my Japanese friends the whole years in between my trips. So got to know about all their drama and, you know, personal lives. And then so going again, and then like being from a more realistic standpoint, it was like the amount of crushing expectations and workaholicness that the Japanese people live under. I don't envy it. Yeah. You know? The idea that...
You know, I'd be terrified working for that man.
That you sort of have to work extra.
And extra. And that there are Japanese words for work by... suicide by work. Yeah. You know, death by working yourself to death. And it's... and that... Like, I talked to the American teachers who were getting paid like $30-something thousand American who were there. And they're like, yeah, we're not expected to... But the typical Japanese teacher is expected to work 15 hours of unpaid overtime, and that's everybody. And they don't get summers off or anything. Yeah. You know, everybody's expected to work unpaid overtime. And it's just like, you know, it's crazy. Like, I watched this YouTube video of this guy who had a ramen shop, and he was putting in like 70 hours running his own little shop.
A day?
A week. And it's like... Damn, man.
But that's the thing, though. Like when I think about the way that he talks about it, it's like that fantasy of the way he talks about it is just like, you know, he says, I've never one day hated this job.
Yeah.
said, I've done this job and fallen in love with it. And, you know.
And that's great.
I feel like if someone here said that, I'd be like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
No way. But I actually genuinely believe that with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like at what cost? Because he says himself that he was a bad father.
Yeah.
And that his kids would say,
Who's the stranger
who's
sleeping
that stranger sleeping
when
in?
he would oversleep, yeah.
And that's the price he paid for greatness.
Yeah.
So it's a question of, is the lemon worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, no. You know?
And especially when you think about what he had to go through earlier, like when you were talking about how, you know, he was
my gosh,
in the war. He said he left his home when he was 9.
Jesus.
And that when his father died, he didn't even bother going to the funeral because he said he didn't know the guy. Like,
yeah.
Oof. It's that's rough. I mean, he's had a rough life, but obviously his resolve and his work ethic is, and his love for the craft has gotten
right. And that's the great debate, is like, because you can say, and it's paid off.
Yeah.
But he's also 92 years old.
And the exception, and the big exception.
What does he have left?
Right, and has it?
Yeah.
Because I don't want his life.
Yeah.
Even with something I like, to have had no free time. Like, what makes me happy is my friendships, right? And so, to completely sacrifice my relationships with friends and family, like, just to be known as that guy, like, I don't want it. Even if it was something I adore, like music, video games.
Liked by everybody, loved by no one.
Yeah. It's like, nah. The lemon's not worth the squeeze.
Is that a new? I haven't heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one either. That's good.
I heard someone talking about that, examining the life of Junior Seau.
Wow. Okay.
You know him? Yeah. Legendary linebacker in CTE. And so you have all these Pro Bowls and all this shit. But the end of his life was very sad.
Did he kill himself?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's right. And so Steve McNair did too.
And
was he murdered? I don't remember. Either way.
Well, I mean, you look at boxers too. I mean, Muhammad Ali, seeing him in his later years, not even just his later years, but like,
dude, he barely functions.
The last 15, 20 years, he was kind of a mess. But I mean, he's still considered the best boxer ever. And
well, like Muhammad Ali's.
That's why I want to be the best gamer. No CTE involved.
Ninja. He's not going to have those issues.
Well, someone's going to bounce his head one day.
Oh no, Chris!
Bounce his head. You never walked into a room like Joe Pesci.
Oh!
Oh no!
Like, yo, we got Fortnite 2 in this room.
Oh no! And he goes, oh
no!
And then the camera cuts really shitty a couple times.
But yeah.
That's an edit right there. Ninja's face on Joe Pesci's body.
Oh no!
Yes. I don't like the implications of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Tweet at him.
I'm not.
We're gonna get banned. Our Epic accounts are gonna get banned for that.
Man, I do not want to be.
All my accounts are Epic.
With the Ninja Mafia or whatever they're called.
No.
Whoa!
Okay.
Oh my god.
Daniel.
Cut that in again.
Depends. Let me see how it sounds.
Okay.
Jeez.
So.
No, let's think about this for a second. What are Ninja's disciples called?
Ninjagos.
That's good.
I mean, is there like a ninja squire equivalent?
Like
wouldn't be ninja, like a samurai squire.
In training?
Yeah.
Ninjago.
No.
Ninjago's good. I like Ninjago.
Because like samurai.
Watch, he probably unironically does that.
No. I mean, I remember in the...
I need some water. Anybody want water?
Yes,
I'll be back.
I
need to... Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk about the style.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you read the Wikipedia about how it was? I don't know if it was the editor, cinematographer, or if the person did both. Was from Planet Earth.
Hell yeah!
Oh really?
Yeah.
The guy who did the cinematography. Okay.
Yeah, and so his vision for it.
He wanted to do a Planet Earth of sushi, basically.
Right. That was like the working title.
Really?
Yeah. It was like Planet
and you're
Sushi.
like, oh, that is it. Because when you hear
That
the
makes a
music,
lot of sense.
and then you can hear how
And all the B-roll and like
the you know, the sound of the knife hitting the wood, the sound of the hands massaging the rice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah,
I
this is
totally see
super
it.
Planet
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah, I read something about like he wanted to do Planet Sushi. That was his original idea. Then he just stumbled upon Jiro and was just like, all right, this has the making of a feature film just right here.
Yeah.
But
I liked it. I like the music
I like
to
it
it.
a lot too.
I like how every time they put a piece of sushi down on the plate, it like focuses on it. It just kind of sits there for a second.
There was one shot that like
Rax focus.
Yeah.
it had me doubling over almost. There was one part where it's near the end. I don't remember who it was, but someone just goes like, "Yeah, he's 85 and this is all he does." And then the camera like panned back a little bit and it was on Jiro like from like this angle, like top down almost, and it like just blurred everything around him and Jiro was just like,
Oh my
I was
god.
like, "Whoa."
Oh, it was just his face, right? Like just
Pretty
this.
much.
Everything else was blurred.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's when that party was there. It was at the dinner. It was at
Yeah.
the dinner, and
And
everybody.
that guy was telling them about like if he noticed you eating with your left hand, he'll put it. Yeah.
how he'll give women like smaller portions so that they can all finish eating at the same time.
Does he charge less? So
Probably not.
That's more.
Yeah.
But
it's called portion
That was.
control.
I thought that was a little weird, honestly. Like
He doesn't want to mess up the pace of the meal.
Well, no, not that. What I mean is like for like the last 4 or 5 minutes of that entire party, it's just the critic. He's just sitting there telling them all about Jiro.
Well, I think
For,
that's
like-
like a microcosm of Jiro's whole life. It's just like everyone's telling him how great he is, but what is he doing? He's just standing there.
Yeah, that's it. He was
working.
just kind of like
He's
standing
working.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, if
All this praise is heaped on him, but
he's
what is
almost
he?
like performance art.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Well,
He's
I
a
mean,
performance art piece.
isn't that what they talk? Isn't that what like the last thing they say? It's just like he's got the easiest job. He's the performer, and the other guys are the guys grinding it out.
Yeah.
He's just like yeah. In a way, I'm doing a show for these people.
Yeah.
He's just like by the time
Because
the
everyone
sushi-
thinks it's made by him.
Yeah, it's just like by the time the sushi gets to me, 95% of the work is
Yeah.
It's
done.
orchestrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Raphael
He's a figurehead.
with the great workshops the artists had during the Renaissance.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I thought the production was really cool. I think the shots were cool. I think the scenes themselves were cool. I like when they go to the fish market. I like.
I remember it was a lot more impressive when I first watched it when it came out, because like this level of high definition documentary with like more sophisticated editing is now pretty commonplace.
Yeah,
Because of stuff like Chef's Table
it's become the standard.
and everything. Yes. And so like I'm trying to put myself back in my mind when I watched it the year it came out, and it was like pretty impressive. Like, oh wow. You know, whereas now like, you know, maybe not Vice, but like I watch so much food videos.
Yeah.
And you know.
Well, I mean, but certainly stuff like Chef's Table, which I mean was also created by him. You think about stuff like like Planet Earth. You think about I am trying to think about other stuff that's just like I would say some of the bigger like Vice projects are like that.
Yeah.
Or like some of the more focused ones like Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia.
Yeah.
Like that. It reminds me of that. But yeah, no, I really liked it personally because it puts you in it puts you in that, like you said, that microcosm of this is Jiro and this is the life that surrounds him and all the people that are around him. These are the people he interacts with.
It's all work.
Yeah, this is his life. Like this is
morning.
I do wonder, like, if
tonight.
the director was like, okay, we got to get some footage of you not working to like humanize you, and he's like,
Nope.
that didn't happen.
Me on a train on the way to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Me sleeping to prepare for work the next day.
And it's like,
How strange would that be? They just had like a shot of him sleeping. You just zoom in. That's nice.
It's like a little dream bubble.
and then there's just a California roll.
He wakes up, he's like, oh,
No, it's like something. It's like a forbidden fruit, like a taco.
oh.
Oh no.
Wakes up
What if
with a
that
cold
became like
sweat.
that happened and became like a big lawsuit? He's like, I did not dream of this.
Jiro.
Files like like a suit against the
It's like
director.
a libel claim.
Yeah. That's slander.
But like two other things that I really like, especially with how they mention it, is I like how they put an emphasis at the end on some of the apprentices. I think that stuff is really cool. How they talk about it's just like how they talk about their training. How
I wanted to cry when that guy told me about the egg sushi.
Oh yeah,
He told
he
you.
finally got it right.
I was
He's like, I made 200.
No, like that moment where
and
you
then they
said
showed him like
Oh,
messing one up
oh,
as
yeah.
they did it, and I was like, no.
What a weird method of transportation he used.
But here's
the 4-6.
Here's the thing
Yeah.
about the Japanese, though. It's like, I'll say this. Maybe not to paint too much of a broad stroke. Jiro's kitchen is that there's got to be an easier way to do it
Yeah.
than that thing he was using, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, to save on labor and other things, like, they could develop
A machine.
other tools and stuff.
Like
Or a spatula.
An egg flipper.
Exactly!
Spatula, yeah.
Like the thing you used to cook pizzas.
Like, I'm
Oh yeah, the paddle.
like,
Just cook all sushi on that.
like, I'm kind of a crafty guy. I think I could figure out one, like, like the waffle
Or
flippers.
yeah, like a waffle iron.
Like,
yeah.
like, give me fucking 2 hours at Home Depot and, I'll figure it out.
Cooking fish on grass? What is this?
It's, but no, the thing with the egg, I was like, it doesn't have to be this hard.
You think okay when the son takes over, you think he's gonna like be a little more relaxed? Like you can use these.
No, okay, so
I don't think so.
So in the movie, I mean, in the doc, he's definitely like, I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna do the best job I can, continue my father's important legacy. But with how difficult his friends and colleagues predict it's gonna be versus the reality of it, I think that there's a good chance that he just
I think it's gonna be tougher.
right, and that he just maybe he tries and then he says, you know what, yeah, like, let's go out, like, it's the end of an era, especially like if you've made money, that like you have the freedom to do that.
Yeah.
Like but see, the other shop at least is the brother's. He opened it. That's his. He has complete ownership of it.
Yeah.
It's like that's maybe, I don't know, and this is just my feeling of the personality I got from the older son, is that I don't think he's as hard-headed as his father.
Yeah.
It's like the thing that, he likes the car, the thing that he admits to how he hated it at the beginning, but he just grew a work ethic and appreciation for it. And that's what I think it is. I think he has a massive appreciation and respect for his father. But that will only take him so far.
Yeah, like, it's clear that the father loves this.
Yeah.
Like, he is... That is
breathes
him.
it.
Yeah, that is what's keeping him together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's again that thing. It's just like he's gonna have to work twice as hard if he wants to be as great.
And so I think that, I don't know, I can definitely see him hanging the reins, like, early too.
Yeah.
Like you see it and you just go,
That's it.
yeah. Like this,
Let's run its course.
like that hill.
Yeah.
Is just, it's insurmountable. I'd rather not, go through the embarrassment and disgrace of the toil. It may not even work,
Is
But
that
the saddest thing about that is if he did close that restaurant down or like change owners, it would just be like turn into a McDonald's or something.
yeah something?
'Cause it's in a subway station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it would totally just turn into something like that. Like
Do you
a
think
chain.
so? Do you know
You know what? They might make it a
It might-
national heritage.
I was about to say, do you
area.
think it would be preserved, like with none of the kitchen stuff in there?
The Japanese are pretty good at preserving stuff, even though their real estate is a lot smaller. But they might even turn it into a museum, a little museum.
I was about to say, for the first 3 Michelin star sushi place ever,
Yeah.
like, that's pretty important. And
Did y'all read anything about the Michelin stars?
Oh, yeah.
I briefly went on Wikipedia. What's the max rating?
4.
3. 3.
4.
3.
I think it's 4 because in Roger
4.
Ebert's review, he said something like this:
the tragedy is
of Jiro's life, he'll never get the 4th star.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was 3. Okay.
Unless that was just like a figurative statement or something like that of his like perfectionism.
Good point, because it could just be that.
Like I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's 3. I think that's the highest score because what it is the 3rd star means that location is worthy of you traveling to that country just for that location.
Oh, so
just
it's not
for
just
that
like
restaurant.
out of 3. They're like
It's 3.
No, it is. It's out of 3.
Oh,
so
okay,
so you get them.
Yeah, it is 3.
Yeah,
But it's like, so the controversy is like, so if you like, I'm just browsing through the Wikipedia, right? It's like you have whole countries that don't have like any, right?
you've got France.
And
they
then
have like
France,
5,000.
and it's like such fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm all for like a competitive worldwide standardized thing,
Yeah.
but something that is so hollow and bullshit as that. And then there's also, and this is maybe my dirty like socialist like self showing, but it's, you know, the elitism and everything behind that methodology,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's biased towards certain things like that only, you know, that France more than anything. It's cool that they show lip service to Japan, which is cool because I really like Japanese cuisine. But it's also like where, like, when I looked through that list, I didn't see any Mexican restaurants.
Do you think?
It's like, I think Mexican cuisine is on par with its complexity and
Like,
like,
it sure as hell tastes as good. So what's the line you're drawing? You know?
and it's like mole and its uniqueness. Fucking like real Mexican cuisine.
What about Spanish restaurants?
They had like 2 or 3.
I figured.
Yeah,
See, that's the line you're
had
drawing.
had a handful.
Yeah.
Germany had a handful.
Well, and so
Think
what I'm
Belgium had a
so
lot?
what I'm thinking is
Belgium had definitely one. I saw.
when some of the smaller places get it, it's sort of like the Oscars when they pat themselves on the back for doing something.
Yeah.
It's just like, look at what we recognized, but it's not French,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
or not one of those.
right, but and it's like, you know, America had like 10 or something, you know,
Mhm.
which good, I
8
guess.
in New York, 1 in LA, 1 in
Yeah,
who knows where.
it
Miami.
was just like New York,
I'm
Chicago,
just guessing,
LA.
but
But the idea, like I said, that, you know, there's not one in Costa Rica. Like, you're telling me that the best restaurant, that all 20 of these French restaurants is better, and they're all worth traveling to France, but there's not one restaurant in Costa Rica or Colombia that deserves this? Hey, get the fuck out of here. Fucking frog bastards.
maybe they just haven't been yet.
Just haven't bothered.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe they have Pirelli stars.
But here's the thing, though. But it's touted as international.
Yeah.
But part of their methodology is consistency.
Yeah.
So people go to these restaurants yearly, multiple times.
Yeah.
Michelin raters, and so I can see how that might logistically be an issue for Mexico.
Yeah.
Even though I love Mexico, but yeah, like
Take the one and done approach.
Just dip in real quick.
Just be like, y'all still making good food? Cool. See ya.
He's like in a raft on the river. Just okay.
Well, I don't think there's any off the border. Like,
Yeah, probably not.
Ciudad Juarez, like,
There might be one.
yeah, Nuevo
There might be one really good Taco Bell. Like,
Taco Bell.
Craig, you got some consistent stuff.
I'm telling. I've been to the border once, and I've never seen a fast food like a chain. Just never, nowhere out there. It's just the shitty. Okay, when we went to Big Bend, there's this tiny town on the border called Terralingua.
Okay.
And we were like, oh, I bet they have great Mexican food. Look, I can see Mexico from here. Like,
Yeah.
it's like 100 yards away. And I swear to God, we ordered queso, and they brought out Velveeta. And Phil was just like, man, that's liquid gold. It was terrible. Like, Chris just got like chicken nuggets. They're like Tyson, like just in a microwave. It was just some of the worst food I've ever paid for.
Well, they probably don't let Mexicans across the border. That's why. There aren't any real Mexicans back there, man.
Well, like I can, you know, I've had.
Maybe we probably just walked into someone's house.
It's like
actually,
what-
and they're just like,
it's
I got
like
some
one-
shit in the freezer. I don't know.
It's like one of the worst beers I had was in Germany.
Really?
Because it was
The worst beer I ever had was also in Germany. I had a Carlsberg on draft, and it was terrible.
I had a.
But that's just
there was
Carlsberg.
A beer vending machine in the corner of the hotel that was rarely visited.
Oh, so it was rank.
Yeah, so it was like Bud Ice of Germany, whatever it was, St. Bartholomew or whatever the fuck. And it was, it was like wasn't really even labeled. Like the glass bottle was just like embossed, like Saint whatever, and lager, and I was like, it's not good.
I'd say the best beer I had, besides like buying Saint Bernardus, was at the Weinstefaner restaurant. I don't even remember which one it was, but woo!
Oh yeah,
that's something you write home about.
The Helles. So the Helles is like the everyday beer, the lager. Did you see that word a lot? Helles. So I noticed a lot of beers I liked had that description, Helles, and we went to one when we were in Bavaria, and this place, the brewery, had been around for 400 years. And they're like, this recipe's 400 years old. I was like, no way, because I would assume, being an American, and like a lot of our consumer goods have just been refined on the production line to like a T, like where it's so weird to even deconstruct it to what it was originally. Like, like a wafer candy. Yeah. Like back in the day, there was an actual like confection that a baker would make. And the idea of reducing like any of our American snacks back, like Doritos, from a fried tortilla.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's what
that's how it started.
The ancestor of the Dorito is. But it's like, get the fuck. Especially when you start getting to 3D Doritos, right?
Bugles?
Yeah. And so
Bugles are next level.
I do like, because I get to be
you have to put
the witch fingers. Yeah. And then you just go, eee. But yeah, so like the idea that German beer was so light, so refreshing, just like, and I enjoy mass-produced lager here in America, and the idea that they got it right, like so hard, 400 is like, it blows my mind, and I can't see like little like hop like worms like in the beer. It's all clear and bubbly. I'm like, how do they do that? But back to Jiro-sama. Hi.
Kirin Ichiban. There, that's how we'll tie it back in.
Yeah.
We did it.
We take the Sapporo Expressway.
There we go.
Back to Jiro land. So overall, the one thing that I think that I appreciate the most about this movie is that it challenges, I think, Western cinema's value criteria, okay? So what I mean by that is if you look at Western media as a whole, America, even though we're still on paper, Christian country by sheer number, our God, if you by way of popular media, is romantic love, right? That's like the greatest thing, right? Yeah. Romantic love. And so what's cool, I heard someone, this isn't my original idea, but y'all have seen Whiplash.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so you know how Whiplash, he breaks up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And lesser movies end up with him saying, you know what? Being with you is the most important thing of all, right? And that's the value
lesser movies
that the movie settles on. But he's like, nah. He wants to be great, and he wants to be, what's the word? An outlier, a pariah. And that's what Jiro is. Jiro is that pariah that shirks all of everyone else's values, right? And in order to, he's on his craft and greatness. Yeah. And it's like, and I think that the movie does a pretty good job of letting you make up for yourself. Is it worth it? But I do admire someone who does go that. I guess that's where I end up at the end, is I say clearly it's not for me, but I am appreciative that there are people who live to elevate art forms, and it's cool that you can eat food from somebody whose whole life is making, this dish.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thought on the movie as a whole.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. It's like when I was watching it, I just don't know what to say about it because I'm just like it's like a expose. It's very minimalist in its story and everything. You're just kind of like watching this guy do these things. Yeah. But
this is the least amount of notes I've written for.
Yeah, I didn't write any. I really didn't know what to write other than just like, I mean, like this guy's life. Like, I mean, we've said it all before already.
Yeah.
It's like,
I started and I wrote violins ?
Yeah, and not like
big ass fish. I wrote that once.
Nice. What did I write?
I was like, man, those tuna look good.
So what? Okay, let me ask. Why do you latch onto this documentary specifically? Because I've heard you talk about it like over a year ago too.
It just
like why does this one stick out?
Well, okay, so
because I mean, like it's a okay. Here's my 2 cents. It is I watched it, I enjoyed it, but like I don't think I'd ever go out of my way to watch it again. Mm-hmm. And you, obviously, you did. So I'm just curious, like, what is it about it that sticks out?
I guess where I'll start is I really like sushi, and I found a new appreciation for cooking.
That's also it. I was about to say I like sushi too, but I don't like cooking. Yeah. Maybe that's the.
I've really found a new, really deep interest in cooking recently. I'd say in the last year and a half, 2 years. And it's not often that we see what is, what he will be a legend of his craft, and is a legend of his craft, and it's rare to see
without going fuck off.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a wise old sage.
Yeah, and the thing is, to peer into the mind, or even just to see what I mean, really is just the minutia of his work.
Yeah.
I think that like that blows me away. That I can see into what makes someone who is legendary him. Like I don't know, like
and what's cool about Jiro is that like this thing of greatness, right? Him being elevated and given spotlight. These sort of things are usually reserved for 30 for 30s, right? Mm-hmm. On great sports icons, right? Because that's something that we can all go, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's amazing with Julio Cesar Chavez, the legendary Mexican boxer who had more title defenses than anybody in history, that ended when he was like in his late 30s. Like, Jiro seems like he caught his second win after he had a heart attack at 70.
Yeah.
And it never ends.
Yeah.
Like his art and his form, Yeah,
and like what you had said at the beginning when you were talking about art, I also do like that it sort of leaves you to make up your own opinion of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, my opinion, and the first time I'd seen it, I'm fascinated. Like, I like... Okay, what I'll say is I like Jiro more than I like the movie. But the fact that this movie does such a good job of showing what the entire universe around him is like really, really puts, something that I'm interested in perspective. Like, this is... While I'll never reach those highs, it's insane that those highs can be reached by a person. That's what I like. That's what I like about the movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, I will watch it again at some point because, there's just something about the movie. There's something about, like, production aside, it just.
I think spellbinding.
Yeah,
I think it's all really good. I give it like an A grade rating. My only thing on shine that takes a little shine off of it is that there have been so many things following.
Yeah.
Jiro Dreams of Sushi, it no longer feels unique. And when I think of like a documentary that I would show someone to be like
you want to
get ready,
shit? Yeah.
It would be like the end of Western civilization, which follows punk rock scene in the hardcore days, or fucking Grizzly Man by Werner Herzog.
Oh God.
Like, yeah. But like this movie is great. It's an A. Yeah. It's as good as those. Yeah. The only difference is that I watch food videos.
Right. How many food exposés and
quite
YouTube
often.
videos have you seen?
Yeah.
Every day.
No, I agree.
Not a day goes by that
Yeah.
I don't watch these things.
And that's the thing. Like, I appreciate those a lot. Like, I watch Bon Appetit videos as soon as they come out.
Yep.
I put them on a watch later list if I can't watch them right now.
Yep.
And like I said, I know you're super into cooking, and you know, I think the fact that for me, this guy is so fucking far ahead of everyone else in his own craft, like that's what gets me about it. Like that's what I don't know. I
mean, it's almost like a Western view, like stereotype of like the wise monk that lives in the East being the best at this specific thing.
Yeah.
No, because I was thinking about that. His life is monastic.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of, like, sometimes I've thought about, like, forsaking, like, this earthly world and, like, renouncing sin and going to be, like, a Trappist monk where I would just pray every day and make, like, sweet fucking beer.
Yeah.
Like, and that's, like, what I imagine. They wake up, pray, make their beer, break bread, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. And that's what his life seems like to me, is monastic in its ways.
Yeah.
Like, but instead of being dedicated to God or enlightenment, it's the fucking sushi.
Cooking some fish, dude.
Yeah, man.
Cutting some fish.
Yeah.
No, like my last thing I'll say about this is, I guess in a super simplistic way to summarize it is, there's, you know, a lot of people.
No women, no?
Does not pass the back to the
Oh no.
Was there ever there was 2 women in the party.
Yeah,
that was it.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
They weren't thick though.
Well,
We never said it was perfect.
we never said it was perfect.
Really good? Sure.
No, what I'll say is, there are, you know, billions of people doing what they're doing, working their job, and documentaries like these show a slice of life of certain people. This is my favorite slice of an incredible person.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's because it's at the tail end of his career, and it's at the tail end of his career, and it's showing how that passing of a torch is going to be happening soon, but it hasn't quite happened yet.
Yeah.
And it's almost just
it's like you're witnessing the heat death of Jiro.
Yeah, really, it is. And like it's cool seeing that it's because it's not the end. They don't show the end, of course, but
they're basically there on the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Just meditating on it.
That's what like that.
Like what
last,
what are we doing here?
The last act is like kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed it. I like showing. I like telling people to watch it because I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. But that was.
But yeah, that was Jiro Dreams of
That was Jiro
Sushi.
Dreams
Thanks
of
for
Sushi.
watching it, y'all.
And so I got a movie, guys.
He's got a movie credit.
Good.
All right.
That's what you were brought here to do.
Yeah.
And this movie is
What's it rated?
it's rated R.
Yes.
Damn it,
It's a hard R too.
dude.
Is a 2013 Russian science fiction film directed by Alexei German, based on the novel of the same name. The film was ranked 17th in Taste of Cinema's 25 most beautiful films of the 21st century. So my friend Connor recommended me this movie, and I had never heard of it. And I saw the trailer, and I was like, this is the one. And it's called Hard to Be a God. And it is available to rent stream.
Awesome.
So it is a science fiction film. It's in black and white.
Ooh. This is 2013?
2013.
Okay.
And it looks incredible.
Ooh.
And kind of grotesque at points. So
What's the genre?
science fiction?
Oh, you already said that. Just
It seems to have elements of horror and absurdist comedy too.
okay.
Yeah. It looked like have you all ever seen Brazil?
Oh, I haven't seen
Terry
it,
Gilliam?
but yeah, I know about it.
Yeah, so it seems like maybe just a little bit of that, but intensified. So
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Just a little
Yeah, me neither.
wacky at times. I don't know.
You haven't seen it yet?
Nope.
Okay,
Haven't
cool.
seen it. So
Awesome.
I'm excited to watch it. Hard to be a god. Yeah.
I'm excited for something science fiction. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek: The New Generation.
Anything but fucking Primer.
Is that? Yeah, I guess that is sci-fi, but
That's something.
Yeah, it's something.
It's something, all right.
I really couldn't follow that movie at all.
It's fiction science.
Yeah, that shit was.
It's. I don't want. Never mind.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's fictionally good. I don't mean that. I mean like it was fine. I just couldn't follow it.
I think it's cool as an exercise.
Yeah.
Yes, like the whole idea that I think I remember talking about it was the movie gets better the more I talk about it outside of the movie. I don't like the movie itself. I like talking about it.
Yeah, the fact the movie exists is cool.
Yeah.
It's like
Like all the ideas that kind of spin through your head are cool.
Right. Well, Primer's cool because it's like the artistry of taking something and exploring it to the nth degree, right? So I don't recommend people watch a Serbian film or I forget, like 100 Days in Sodom or whatever, right? But those films are interesting in the fact of them of just pushing the envelope of how subversive can we be, right? Airplane's cool. How many jokes per second can we literally fit in a movie, right? And then Primer's cool because it's like, a convoluted science fiction movie? Let's make the most convoluted.
Yeah, and the people who get it will love it.
And and it's not even harebrained.
Yeah.
But it's just overload.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it seeks
because it is overload.
Yeah. So that's what I'll say about Primer. Right. But also it sucks balls.
Oh man.
That's good. That's good.
I did not enjoy that. The fuck?
I remember, didn't we all watch it together?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just like,
And then I don't know, like I rewatched it too.
oh.
I didn't rewatch it.
I didn't either.
I rewatched it with my linear notes.
I watched it the first time I watched it. I was in my dorm room at UTD, and I'm like, I finished it. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, I said, I can't believe I've never heard of this movie.
Bullshit. 19-year-old Danny just stood up and said, "Damn, I'm smart."
Yeah. I get it.
I get it.
Fucking dumbass people don't get it.
Did you post on Reddit or 4chan after that? You're like, yo, check it out.
Rick and Morty subreddit.
Oh.
I got some shit that's gonna blow y'all's minds.
The Mensa members subreddit.
Yeah, I had 3 tabs. I had 3 tabs open. It was Primer streaming, Alpha Brain Nootropics, and Mensa application. All 3 tabs open.
Mensa application.
Mensa application.
2 screens.
Oh man.
I look like fucking Megamind.
You had a brain blast during
Oh man.
Oh, where do we go from here? How do we round this one out?
Oh, we still recording?
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought we cut that shit.